These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here recording on Tuesday, February 6th. Just when you're hearing this, it's one day ahead of the trade deadline. Trade deadline is Thursday the 8th. We will be live for it. We'll do a little live stream, hang out with y'all while it's going down, break down any potential Celtics moves and any blockbuster moves around the league, although I feel like it could be pretty quiet this year. That said, not expected to be quiet is the Celtics. Well, I guess quiet is relative. Quiet in the sense of do nothing.
Whispering.
Yeah. Quiet in the sense of doing nothing is what I'm referring to. As it came out from Adam Himmelsbach of the Boston Globe today, that it would be surprising if the Celtics completely stood pat, noting that a, quote, minor move is expected. I'll read the full quote from his article. Just like every year, Celtics executives are continuing to make calls and look for ways to upgrade prior to Thursday's trade deadline. One league source said it would be a surprise if the Celtics do not complete a minor move, but it will most likely be to add a player as insurance in case of future injuries rather than alter the current rotation. So, thoughts on that, Sam? I know you wrote about the quote for Celtics blog. This can just be another discussing trades thing. If you're listening to this and you're sick of it, I'm sorry. You got 2 more days. So, or we're talking about trades because that's what people are talking about. That's what the reporting is. That's what the titles call for. That's what the content is. So the Celtics are expected to do something, if that means anything to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I went through it at Celtics blog. You did the long list of potential targets that people at least have been talking about, and you kind of ranked them and said which ones are the most likely. So I went in there and picked out a couple that were bigs because that's kind of what this hints at. They want injury insurance for Porzingis, who has missed 14 games so far this year with various things / rest, and Horford, who's old. Come playoff time, you would like to have as much reinforcement behind those two guys as you possibly can, not only because they could get hurt, but also because in the playoffs, or just, I guess, in general, that is the position that is most likely to pick up fouls. You have guys driving down the lane, going to the basket, initiating contact. There's going to be more whistles. If you have to play somebody like Giannis, maybe Embiid if he comes back, right? That's all the talk's been this week. Is he going to come back? Is he not? We're going to hear an update in a month, by the way, if you're curious on that. That's what was reported today. So you're going to need more bodies. You need somebody. Keita is not patient enough. Cornette is good, but if he's having an off day or gets in foul trouble, it could be helpful to have somebody else you can trust to throw in there. So picked out names from your article. I picked out Drummond, I picked out Nick Richards, and I picked out Xavier Tillman. I went through Drummond, can't play offense, can't really play defense, really the greatest rebounder of all time. Second, Tillman can't put the ball in the basket for shit. He shoots 40% from the field this year, and it's not like his attempts are down or anything. He's shooting the same amount he was last year, where he shot 65%. All of a sudden, he can't make shots. As a big guy that barely shoots threes, it's not the best look. Nick Richards is my favorite of the three, and I think is a lot of people's favorite. On the video today, I saw people commenting, Nick Richards this, Nick Richards that. Thoughts about Nick Richards? Good. Plays real minutes for the Hornets. 9.5 points, 7.5 rebounds on, oh my gosh.
68.
I want to say 68% from the field, like crazy high shooting percentage because he's just shooting in the paint. Okay, 2 things. One, the Hornets probably don't want to trade him because their team sucks, and they only have so many players that are good. So if they think there's anything worth experimenting with him, keeping him around to develop, there's no reason why they wouldn't. 2, if they do give him up, what's wrong with it? Why are they giving up this guy that seemingly puts up decent numbers and decent minutes, has started a decent amount of games for them? He's under contract for the next 2 seasons, making $5 million a year. Why would they give him up? What's wrong with him? So there's like a lot to think about in that respect. There's nobody, at least I don't think so, that the Celtics are going to get and people are going to be excited about. These guys are all guys that could fit in the TPE, by the way, right? Tillman only makes TPE money too. We haven't really discussed anybody today about like, oh, they could combine salaries for this, but we did have somebody saying like sarcastically, anytime we talk about trading Pritchard, we're like, no, don't do it. And it's because the poison pill thing too. Like as much as he's been playing well, like if the Celtics were to trade Pritchard, the average of this year's salary and then the extension money would have to be matched by the other team, while the Celtics aren't able to, take back more money than the $4 million that he
Mhm.
makes this year. So it's
They
a
can,
very
yeah,
sticky situation.
it makes it hard. Um, sorry, I had to cough. I do think the reporting from Himmelsbach makes it sound like a big man is probably what they want.
Mm.
There's just not much out there in terms of big men, to be perfectly honest. Like, Paul Reed is like a name that, like, do you look at with Embiid out? Do they sell an asset? He's under contract for 7-something million the next 2 seasons. That said, that wrinkle that the Jazz threw in, where if they make it to the second round, it becomes guaranteed. Not a guarantee anymore because Embiid is hurt, so that could become non-guaranteed very fast, and so they could open up more cap space, or they could not risk it and then get off his money anyways. Don't hate Paul Reed, but he is very like bleh, like it's just meh. The same as like an Andre Drummond, I'd be like, yeah, cool, that's fine. And he also doesn't fit into the TPE, so it would have to be a trade. Which I'm not going to count out either, because other reporting from Michael Scotto, I think it was, said they could combine salaries to pile up and make a move. So I don't know if that's out of the question either. Andre Drummond obviously is there. The Nick Richards thing. Um, He's playing real minutes for the Hornets. He's played 30 minutes a
That's what
night
I'm saying.
over the past like 10 games. So
He's
I don't
starting
think
games.
they're not, I don't think they're eager to get rid of him, especially because Mark Williams is out right now.
Mm.
Like, if Mark Williams was healthy and they were rocking with him at the starting center and they were like, this year's a loss anyways, let's get some draft capital. And the Celtics overpaid and said, okay, we'll give you protected first for Nick Richards, which is a lot for Nick Richards. But when you understand the context of he'll be under contract for a couple seasons, you could use it as trade. Like, it's kind of worth it. Maybe the Hornets are like, all right, that's probably better value than we get elsewhere. Let's capitalize on it. The Celtics, I don't want to say desperateness, but like their desire to get a backup center and one that's under contract. But with Mark Williams out, I don't think they're in any rush to get rid of him. Especially considering he's actually he's already 26. So it's not like he's 23, 24 years old. He's getting up there in terms of veteran. Past that, it just doesn't seem like there's too much the Celtics could go after. And this is what we've been saying for the past X amount of weeks at this point. Like Damian Jones, and that's a nothingness, but he's even playing in Cleveland right now. I don't know if the Pacers are eager to get off of any of those guys. The one thing I will say is, if Indiana does make more moves, right? Like, do they say, okay, maybe we don't need Isaiah Jackson or Jalen Smith as much at this point? But those guys are like good young players, and they feel like they fit into their plan, so they don't seem likely candidates to be moved for nothingness. There's just, yeah, and that's about it, really. Like, you look down the rest of the league, and there's like Mo Bamba, like Alex Len. Like, what are we doing at that point? Luke Cornett's better than both
Alex
those
Len
guys.
played pretty well for the Kings. Last year? Like, he was playing
Yeah,
decent minutes for them, and he was doing well.
Yeah, he just doesn't play anymore, and he's like, and we say, oh, he was plying well. He averaged 1.5 points and 1.5 rebounds last year. Like, it's not like he
Oh, you
did
know
much.
who I think I got him confused with was Lyles. My bad.
Lyles,
Lyles
yeah,
plays real
or
minutes for
Me
them.
Too. Me Too's all right as well, but he's in Phoenix now. I don't know if he's
Lyles and
much
Len were
anymore.
both top lottery picks, and
Mhm.
bounced around a little bit before they ended up with the Kings. So
You know who I still like that I didn't
who's
think
this?
of until this moment? Trendon Watford.
Mm.
What about Trendon Watford? He played good minutes for the Blazers last year. He's not really playing in Brooklyn right now for whatever reason. And you could say, oh, well, if he's not playing in Brooklyn, he's not going to play in Boston. Yeah, nobody they trade for is going to play in Boston. But in terms of an extra big body, like, he's a big body. He can move. He can probably play a little bit of 5 for you. He can probably play a little bit of 4 for you. He shoots it all right. He shot 39% on low fit on small volume last year. Small volume this year again, 37-ish%, 36.7. Like, I don't hate him. I think, I don't know if Brooklyn's like looking to get off of him, but he's playing like less than 12 minutes a game for them. He's not in the rotation. I don't know. I didn't think of that before, but he's on a nothing contract. He would fit into the TPE if you throw a couple seconds at Brooklyn for him. I like Trendon Watford. He's somebody I wanted them to sign before the season anyway, so that's a name I hadn't thought of before. Past that, yeah, I'm just scrolling through like Basketball Reference player contracts page and looking for random stuff at this point.
I have a question since you're
Yeah.
already on like Does Washington have anybody you think they would be selling out? Because they've been so bad.
The NFL season is wrapping up, and there's still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Now, the app is so easy to use, and there are so many different ways to bet, like live same-game parlays, find bets in the new Explore tab, make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Yes, but nobody that fits into the TBE to be answer to the question. Like Daniel Gafford, they'd probably be willing to trade. Maybe, actually. But he makes 12 mil. Corey Kispert, I think they're going to keep. I don't think he's a trade candidate.
He's a keeper.
Kyle Kuzma obviously makes way too much money. This team is just really, really bad, to be honest. Like yeah, there's nobody. Like they just got Marvin Bagley, and he's actually played pretty well for them. So I don't know if they're getting rid of him.
I think that's what Marvin Bagley does. He like joins a new team, plays well, and then fucks off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this Wizards roster is really bad. There's nothing. Johnny Davis, if you want Johnny Davis, but he's not good. Yeah, no, Trendon Watford is the new guy that I just thought of that I wouldn't hate. I saw an article. I'm not going to say where I saw it, but it was titled 3 Celtics who let me find it one sec. 3 Celtics who could be in danger of like at the trade deadline, or 3 Celtics who could like be gone by the trade deadline. 3 Celtics who won't survive the 2024 trade deadline. And it was Svi Mykhailiuk, Cornette, and Hauser, which I'm like do you watch? Like, do you pay attention to anything happening on the team? Like, what are we doing? It's just excuse me, it's just very like, hello.
You know, a name I just stumbled upon. Former Celtic Moses Brown.
Is he in the league?
He plays in Portland. He makes like no money.
Maybe there's a reason for that.
He's the greatest rebounder of all time.
Clearly, right? Man. Yeah, no, there's nothing much. And even if you look past just big men, like maybe they go after a what's it called? A forward guard. Like there are other like options there if you really want to get into it, because injury risk could just mean like in case anybody gets hurt, like they want to bolster up depth at any position. Like you look at, and I'm just scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Don't worry about it. Like I don't think Houston would trade Aaron Holiday, but that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
but he's playing kind of real minutes for them, so I don't think that's on the table as much. Charlotte's a complete mess, and I don't think this guy is very good anymore. But Ish Smith does play for Charlotte. If you really want to talk about a veteran guard,
championship experience.
He is technically shooting 50% from 3 this season, so you're welcome. There's some stuff for you. But that said, he shot 8 threes this season, so he's made 4 of them. Wes Matthews is in Atlanta, I guess, if you want Wes Matthews, but he's not good anymore.
Still in the league.
Yeah, he's not great. Guard that could interest you, Dennis Smith Jr. in Brooklyn.
He's not playing well.
Yeah, he's not shooting particularly well from 3, but he is like a good all-around guard. He's a pretty good defender. If you want some athleticism and defense at the position, he's on the minimum contract.
So there's that. About that because he would fill in that DeLon Wright type of build that we've been like, what if they went and got him, give you a different wrinkle than Pritchard? So sure, I'd be in it. It's been cool to see him kind of figure it out and get his feet underneath him in the NBA after struggling for a while.
I don't think they would make a trade with the Celtics just because of who they are. The Sixers they're cooked, right?
When you mentioned Paul Reed already.
Would they trade Patrick Beverley? Yeah.
We found it. We found
Don't worry about it, guys. We cracked the case.
Guy I played basketball with just found my Celtics blog article.
Because I was telling him about it.
Yeah, no, nobody you know, but he just texted like a couple of us. He's like, look at our boy.
You know who was in the pregame chat the other day? Proc.
Who's it? Oh yeah.
He just dropped. I didn't recognize him at first, but I saw a Twitter account just saying Jimmy Butler owns TD Garden. I was about to go off, and I realized it was him, and so I had to give him shit. Anyways, Patrick Beverley. Hey, I would not complain at
I'm
Patrick
in.
Beverley. I would be in on Patrick Beverley.
Belt to
Like I
ass
said,
tour. That'd be fire. Bring him in.
like I said,
I have shifted all attention. Pat Bev.
I don't think the
Final.
Sixers would
If I
make a
had a
deal.
gavel, I'd hit the table.
I don't think the Sixers would trade with the Celtics, to be clear. Like I don't think they would do that trade to help the Celtics improve, especially because I also don't think the Sixers are in sell assets mode. However, are you tweeting about Patrick Beverley right now?
Yeah, I had to tweet.
But if they do decide to do something, and the Sixers are willing, I don't know. I'd be pretty okay with it.
I'm in. I'm
I
all
think
the
that'd be
way
kinda
in.
cool. Is that your new fixation now that I brought it up?
Yeah, just I could not be more excited.
It's a good idea.
Just-
I think it's pretty good.
I've been in on Pat Bev for years.
Me
I
too.
was like, this guy could be a great Celtic. Like he has that. He's the grit guy, right? He's the talk shit guy. I mean, he did the thing with the camera. It was hilarious. Like I'm all in. Bring in Pat Bev.
Excuse me. Yeah, I'd like Pat Bev. That'd be a good one. I
Imagine
think.
Pat Bev like making some play and then he starts jawing in the garden and the crowd just starts getting hyped behind him.
Yeah, right? No, literally.
You know exactly like what I'm talking about. He's just screaming at somebody and the crowd kind of gets that little buzz about him. We've got like 2 days of me being excited about Pat Bev. And then it won't matter anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
Three
That's
firsts.
There's about all the guys I got that I think could be cool. Yeah, that about wraps it up. There is a guy in the G League, Sam, who I saw that I know you are a big fan of. Dwayne Dedman.
Dwayne Dedman. No, keep it away from the Celtics. If you don't know, Dwayne Dedman was on the Heat last year. And when he was traded away from the Heat, Heat fans could not have been more excited that he was gone.
Thoughts on Furkan Korkmaz?
No.
Thoughts on Killian Hayes?
No.
Imagine the Celtics go get Killian Hayes. Yeah, okay, that's it. Pat Bev, and then pick a big man. What big man? Trendon Watford. Those are the how about the Celtics
Richards.
duo? Nick Richards is fine, but I'm in terms of
he
like
ain't happening.
In terms of unique ideas like that is HBTC. You heard it here first. Pat Bev, Trendon Watford. They're gonna be the big faces on today's thumbnail. Those are the guys.
Pat Bev.
Right?
Just
Pat Bev. I should just make the whole thumbnail Pat Bev. Anyway.
I just got a message from our boy Celtics fan. He just goes, I love how the main photo is Scal.
You just got the retweet from Harrison Fagan too.
I saw.
That means it could end up on Best of NBA.
Oh, Michael
Nation.
Hilly, where's the Pat Bev thing coming from on Twitter? I'm just gonna say sources.
Just say get ready to watch tomorrow's video, buddy. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you like the Pat Bev, leave a comment. If you hate it, also leave a comment.
Pat Bev.
Subscribe to How About Them Celtics. Pat Bev, we got to reach out to Roan. We got to get him and say, hey, request a trade, get to Boston.
Can I DM Pat Bev? I'll be like, listen,
watch the video.
To them, be like, go all in.
I don't think the Sixers would do it.
Press members in the Celtics press conferences.
Absolutely. He's going to be on the thumbnail for the trade deadline stream too. Anyways, thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it very much. Make sure to subscribe to How About Them Celtics. Leave a comment, leave a review on Apple and Spotify. Actually, this isn't going up on there, but go do it anyways. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. I'll let Sam wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more of our daily videos. It's always some nonsense, whether it's the pods on Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, the game recaps on the days that there are no pods after a game, film breakdowns, talking C's with Bobby Kravitsky, rumor breakdowns like today's video, and the half-hour pregame streams will be here before every single game. So subscribe and come hang out in the live streams. It's a ton of fun. Make sure you follow us on Spotify and Apple too. The pods and game recaps will be right in your inbox if you do that. You can leave a 5-star review as well. Jack would appreciate that. I would appreciate that. We would both appreciate it if you emailed us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Anytime you have any thoughts you'd like to get out there, we like to read what you have to say. So go ahead and send it in. You can also find us on socials at How About the MCs, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The Facebook is just the name of the podcast. Our streams are there and on YouTube and also on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is at JacksMonNBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.